Hey guys, good morning. Oh my gosh, it's actually 3:30 in the morning right now and it is what the hell, Tuesday morning. I'm filming this on the 20th of June. I just could not sleep as usual because you know what, you guys, just a little preface my situation. I was doing like night shift for like an entire year straight, right? And I mean, I've always worked nights, so it's really hard for me to like fall asleep at night. So I guess I'd rather just like be doing these videos. It was like also an opportunity for me to like clean out my jewelry, kind of throw away. And I mean, when I say throw away, like I really did throw away some stuff that I was no longer using, or obviously, had been, falling apart on me for so long. So today I'm just gonna do my bracelets. So these are like a collection of the vintage estate pieces, that I bought through the years. And obviously, there's some sign of aging and there's really nothing brand new, you know what I mean? If you came to this video looking for Cartier or Van Cleef and Arpels or Chanel or what else are the pieces like freaking Midjouri or any of those things, sadly I don't have any of those and I'm just not drawn to them, you guys, because I'd rather get pieces that are unique to me. I like kind of like unique and like let's just say one-off pieces that I can find in estate or like like those estate sales or like those auctions in eBay and stuff like that. Because for so long, you guys, I was also selling on eBay, you know what I mean? I started selling there like 2014, I believe, and I did it for like an entire year. And I did really well, so what I would do is I would sell an old piece of jewelry and then I would upgrade, to like nicer pieces, and then I would eventually like sell that again and then upgrade, if that makes sense. Yeah, so thank you so much for all the people who like commented on the last video I made. Your comments are like really appreciated by me. And yeah, I mean, I'm not here to like brag or show off. This is just a passion of mine, like collecting jewelry. And yeah, so I just want to share it with you guys and I hope you find some value and really enjoy what I'm sharing, you know what I mean? So, let's start. Okay, so tonight I'm just gonna do I'm just gonna do bracelets. I'm gonna do bangles on another day, and then I'm gonna do rings on another day, and then I'm gonna do watches on another day. Since I already did necklaces and earrings, if that makes sense. So I hope you guys enjoy. So let's just get into it. I think I'm gonna start with the pearls, right? And at the end of the video, I'm also gonna tell you what I'm wearing on my fingers and on my hands, because I just love these pieces that I have. Okay, so let's start. Okay, so first I have this like estate pearl bracelet, right? These are Akoya pearls and I got them secondhand in an auction sale on eBay. And I think I've had them for like excuse me, 5 or 6 years. Also, you guys, I was gonna put the jewelry here. I don't know, maybe not. You see these things, you guys? Okay, just as a side note, you see these like little coaster stuff here. Does anyone know anything about resin art or resin jewelry or anything like that? Aren't they cute? Okay, so just like a little backstory to these things. My ex, okay, and when I say ex, and it's not like I have many, you guys, I just want to clear that up. When I say ex, Okay, I was dating, and I was actually living with my ex in 2021, and we were together for almost a year. And he, you guys, is so talented and so brilliant, right? And he makes these little things like out of resin art. So he used to do a project. So what the project would be, he used to grow weed as well, right? If I can say that here on YouTube. So he was a weed grower, and he would take like a little weed leaf, and he would press that weed in here in the art. And so those, he sold those, you know what I mean? And he did pretty well like selling those. So he made me a couple of pieces as well because I like the four-leaf clover, right? So he made me this. He also made me a heart. Oh, so sweet. He was into clovers, well, because he's Irish, right? That's actually like his, yeah, not to give too much away, but like his screen name is like Irishman or something like that. But anyway, he and I are no longer together, obviously, but like I still use these, you guys, as coasters. And you know what? To be completely honest with you, I just love these. I don't think I can ever have it in me to like throw them away. Because he gave them to me, you guys, like, and he, you know that thing like when someone gives you a thoughtful present that they made themselves? You know, no, I'm not gonna throw it away just because we broke up, right? Anyway, you guys didn't come for that story. But anyway, here's the Akoya pearl bracelet I have. And the pearls are maybe 7 or 8 mm. And they have like a 14 karat gold clasp. The pearls have a really nice luster to them. And this is like one of my favorites. So there's that. Hope you like that. I have another pearl bracelet. And you know what, you guys? I'm a Gemini as well. And the birthstone of Gemini is pearls. So that's another reason why I collect pearl jewelry as well. So here's another pearl bracelet. This is a Baroque pearl bracelet. I just got it online. Nothing fancy. You know, these are one of the things, like made in China. And nothing against China at all. I'm just saying, I believe in China they're like more mass produced, if that makes sense. So it's not like, you're gonna go to like an estate sale or whatever and how do I say it? Like find one special piece just made for, the previous owner or whatever. These are, I know like pearl jewelry in China is mass produced, and like I said, there's nothing wrong with that. Yeah, so just, uneven, nicely shaped, just regular luster. There's that. Okay, here's another recent one, you guys, that I just got this. Okay, so my birthday just passed on June 7th. Yay, I just turned 47. And I got myself these. Oh my gosh, you guys, look at the color. Isn't it stunning? They're almost, I wouldn't say chocolate. They're almost like this golden, sort of like honey-ish, with a rainbow. I don't know if it's showing up on the camera, but it's like, they're like dual strands, right? And if you can see that, you guys, this is the most, like, when I wear it outdoors in the sun, they just sparkle and they glisten like crazy. Super gorgeous. And they're, you know what I liked about them the most, I think, is like, they're not, okay, if you can see, they're not perfectly round, right? So they're still kind of, they have uneven shapes. You know what I mean? So sometimes, you know what I mean? If you can relate to this, right? Sometimes it's not always what other people want or expect of us. For example, okay, people always expect round pearls, right? That's the standard for like pearl jewelry. If it's like your pearls are not, round or perfectly round, yeah, they're nothing, they're garbage, they're cheap. But to me, honestly, because it's part of my personality too, the more different I am from other people, the better I am. And I'm not saying like, hey, I'm better than you. I'm just saying I'm different in my own right, and I don't have to go with a crowd, if that makes sense. And I think that comes out in my jewelry as well. So that's that. I love that. I love it's also a 14 karat gold clasp. And of course, it's vintage. And like I said, none of these pieces are like, VCA or Cartier or anything like that. I just think, and, don't get me wrong, there are people that rock those things amazingly well and they look amazing with them. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's their preference, right? But for me, I'd rather find pieces that I know I found and something in that piece of jewelry like spoke to me, if that makes sense. Anyway, back to pearls. Okay, so another, as you can see, I like that look, right? It's very classic. But you know what, you guys, I'm always on the hunt for like good finds, right? For jewelry that's top notch. You know what I mean? Obviously from an estate. And it's also a dual row pearl bracelet. These are Akoya, and they also have a 14 karat gold clasp. And you know what, you guys, real good pearls, you'll just see the luster and just the color of them. There's kind of like a difference when you see, like, versus like when you see freshwater pearls. And hey, I have nothing against freshwater pearls. I think they're amazing too. I have a bunch of them as well. But like when you see real Akoyas and South Sea, you'll see that you see those pinkish hues right there. Those are like what you're paying premium for, right? So when you buy pearl jewelry, the better the luster, the more expensive. And I'm not saying this is an expensive piece. Like I said, I bargain hunt all the time, you guys. I just get things that are obviously, of some kind of value, but I'm not gonna pay that much money, when I can get it, secondhand and vintage. Because you know what, you guys, here's another thing about vintage. I like the patina, right? When I say the patina, that darkness that goes like over time, that oxidation with pieces, that weathered look, so to speak. That's just something, I think that vintage jewelry collectors love the most, right? And you know what, guys? If you see the clasp of this, I don't know if that's showing up. Yeah, let me back up a little bit. Do you see how ornate that clasp is? That filigree right on that clasp? That is super, just like screams vintage to me all the way. So that's that. I'm gonna keep this video shorter, you guys, because obviously the last video I made, the necklaces thing, was like goddamn like an hour almost. I don't know if you guys fell asleep or whatever, but it was just like way too long, right? Also, I want to mention that my jewelry is still on these trays that are so meh, because I want to got you guys a really good jewelry armoire or something like that. But I also want to get a vintage one, if that makes sense, to keep up with my vintage theme, right? So, there's that. I put the clasp back on, okay? We're gonna go through the pearls first. Here's another pearl bracelet. Okay, this one I got it from eBay, I think. And that seller, you guys, that I got it from, okay, he eventually became my friend, right? He's actually from New Jersey. He actually became my friend, right? And I think that this whole piece is like set in sterling. And you know what? He carries the most, I don't know how to say it, like spectacular pieces, you guys. He, you know, just has all these items. I don't know how he acquires it. I'm not one to like be nosy or whatever. But like he has like items from like the 1800s, the real vintage. When I talk about vintage, like vintage, you know what I mean? But like the pearls are, yeah, I think they're just like, how would standard, I would say. Nothing too special. They're not too lustrous, but like what I really liked about this piece is the patina of it. You see that oxidation, you see that darkness, right? And you don't see that color in like new um pieces of jewelry. If you know what I mean. If you're into vintage, you'll understand what I mean. Like, for example, okay, you see a piece of silver, it's gonna appear almost white, right, to you, if it's brand new and if it's fresh and you haven't really worn it around. It's obviously not gonna have all these signs of like age, oxidation, tarnish. But like when you get really vintage pieces, you're gonna see that almost grayish tone that you see in almost like platinum, if that makes sense. You see that oxidation and you see that patina. That's what I like. Other people like their sterling really almost white. It almost has to be like this glowy, silvery. I think you know what I mean. But like to me, I like my silver. If I'm wearing silver, I like my silver to have like that faded, darkish look, right? Okay, so lastly, well, not last, but like, oh my gosh, you guys, you ready for this? Is the best. Gosh, look at how heavy, and look at how big those pearls are, and oh my gosh, look at the just the knot, right? And you know what they say? How can you tell if you have a really good piece of pearl jewelry? All good pieces of pearl jewelry will have a knot in between them. Okay? And if you didn't know why you have to have a knot, the reason is because if the bracelet ever falls apart or breaks or it catches onto something, only one pearl is going to fall down, right? Not the whole thing. It's not all gonna be on the floor. Only one, because the knots are what keep the piece in place, keep it safe and sturdy and secure, right? If you see, you guys, this is a Baroque pearl bracelet, and I got a really, really good deal on it. And if you see, there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 huge Baroque pearls, right? Huge. When I say, this is almost like 60 grams, you guys, and it's double knotted too, and that's how I know I scored major on this piece. And then there's a clasp that's magnetic, and the clasp is all crystals. You see that? Oh my gosh, you guys. I rarely wear this piece because I am so scared, because I know I'll never find. I chanced upon this online too. You know what I mean? And there were like 10 or 12 people watching it, and I'm like, you know what? I have to jump on this as soon as, like right now, yesterday, if you know what I mean. You see that? That is vintage, and that is freaking quality right there. The luster, everything, it's just heavy, it's stunning. This is probably one of those things that I know it's always going to be with me. I'm never going to sell it. I'm never going to give it away. I just love that. Okay, so here is another one. And remember, on my last video, I talked about pearl jewelry, right? I'm sorry, excuse me. I talked about gold filled jewelry, right? And so I got this from another estate sale online, right? For a really, really good deal. And the best thing about it is it's gold filled jewelry. Again, like I talked about this in my last video. So there's actually a rope chain attached to the pearl bracelet, right? You see it? And I think that that rope chain, I don't know, I could be wrong, okay? Don't quote me on this, is meant to like keep the piece safe or to keep the piece intact, if that makes sense. What I also like about this piece, you guys, is the extender on it. You see that extender? So if you lose weight, you obviously go to the last clasp. And if you gain weight, you could wear it all the way up to the end, right? And the pearls are like maybe 4 mm, I would say, or like 3. They're just like really tiny if you see that. But they're also a koya. They're also strung together and knotted, right? And actually, you know what? I have to go find a jeweler near me, and I have to have these pearls restrung because obviously they're loose. If you can see, you can see the string right in between, and that's not a good sign. You know what I mean? It could catch on. It could just like damage the piece. And you know what? This is vintage. I really want to get like a vintage restorer. Someone who knows how to handle vintage jewelry to like restore, you know, or restring this pearl bracelet. Because you know what? This is one of those things. I go online nowadays and I'm trying to look for the same thing as a backup. Like in case, you know, I damage the piece or I lose it. And you guys, guess what? You normally find, you know, common items online, but this one I have never seen again, ever. In any auction site. So far, right? So far. I'm sure there must be something out there. But like so far, I haven't found anything. And you know what? I'm not about to lose this piece because this is one of my faves, right? That is just so stunning. This is just, oh gosh, like a true vintage find. And I always wear it here on the last clasp because I don't like bracelets that are too loose, right? There you go. So you can have like that extender dangle, if you know what I mean. Okay, there's that. Okay, here's another vintage find that I found online. It is again pearls. Like I said, a true Gemini. My birthstone is pearls. And this is just in gold vermeil, quoting sterling silver. It has a double lock, and that's what I like about it. So the piece is going to be safe. Even if it catches on, you guys, to a piece of clothing, it's not going to break, right? You see how gorgeous that is? And you know what? I'm not an expert, right? I'm not a gemologist. I don't have a degree for jewelry whatsoever. But if I can date this piece, according to like the little experience I have with jewelry, this is probably early 80s to like mid 80s. You know that time in jewelry where everything was like yellow gold, like bright yellow gold, and you know, these little circles and hoops and things like that. I love it. Also, you guys, you must forgive me for speaking the way I do because you know what? And maybe this is like TMI and it's gross, so like excuse me. But like I'm gonna go to the dentist this week and I'm gonna get a tooth extraction because one tooth is just hurting me, you guys, too much. It bothers me. And so, yeah, I mean, it's inevitable. I have to go, right? And you know what? That's the thing, okay? If I can just like share this piece of advice with you. When you know that you have to do something, you don't wait on it. You like do it right away because eventually you're going to have to do it. So whether you like it or not, like for example, it's a tooth problem, right? Get that shit straightened out right away. Go to the dentist as soon as you can. You know what I mean? If you don't have insurance, apply for state insurance. Is what I can say. I don't have insurance either. I mean, I'm just saying, right? Okay. So where are we now? Okay, I'm gonna go to this this is crystal, right? Oh my gosh, you guys. Mm-hmm. So this is a beaded gold and crystal mesh bracelet. This is also gold filled. Like I said in my last video, I'm into gold filled jewelry because you can actually wear it your whole life. It's a lifetime, right? You can wear it to go. You can just wear it anywhere. It's like it's almost gold, but it's not. It's 5% of gold in covering a piece, so it's not gold plated. Obviously, gold plated is like the thin coat, right? Gold filled actually has gold in it. And you know what, you guys, like I said, I have to go to the vintage restorer and get that. Oh my gosh, you guys. See that? That's why I can't wear it. You see those little gold balls? This is classic. This is freaking vintage as hell. You see how thick it is? This is the type of thing, well, I mean, if it was in good shape, that I would wear to an event, you know? Just works. And then I'll probably have like one huge pearl, South Sea pearl ring to go with it. Stunning. What do you guys think about this piece? Do you think it's stunning? Leave me a comment down below. Let me know. You see, there's that mark. Says, can't focus. But it's just like, says like gold, 12 karat gold filled. So what it means is like there are 12 parts of gold into the piece. So a very, very small amount, nothing substantial or anything like that. Okay, so let's get on to the more, I would say, more costumey, vintage, but like collector's pieces. Oh my gosh, you guys. This is something, okay, I know not a lot of people would wear, and I don't blame them. I don't care. It's not for everybody, right? But do you see the workmanship on that bracelet? You see the craftsmanship? You see the cherries? This is called Cherry Jubilee bracelet. I forgot the brand. I'm gonna look it up online. You see that craftsmanship in that work? These are all check. When I say check, C as in cat, Z as in zebra, E CH. So Czech as in Czechoslovakia, right? So back in the day, and I'm just gonna give you guys a little history lesson. Well, I learned this from another channel. God damn, I forgot the name of that channel, but oh my gosh, the history. You sit through one of her videos, you're gonna come out and you're gonna be, can I apply to be a curator now? No, I'm just kidding. She is that great. She is that knowledgeable. She has several books in front of her as a reference. She's on several Facebook groups. I forgot the name of the channel. I'm gonna have to look it up. But my God, you guys, I sit through her videos, and when I come out, I'm like, holy shit, now I know, right? Well, she told me, well, not told me, she explained in one video how in Czechoslovakia, there's a whole industry of glass makers, right? And they produce the most, when I say fantastic, fabulous, marvelous pieces of glass jewelry in this world, Czechoslovakia is the place to go, in other words. Because what happened is there were Germans. Okay, so now if you're into vintage jewelry, you're gonna see pieces that are signed or stamped West Germany or Germany. Okay? There are people from the Czech Republic that went to Germany or vice versa, okay, and then they intermarried and they had kids, obviously, and now they're back in the Czech Republic and they're into this industry, you guys. They're into the glass making and they were into it for years and years and years, and they mastered the craft and the art of making the most fabulous pieces of glass. Vintage, like when I say vintage, like from the war, pre war to the war and post war era. Okay? So look at that. Look at the leaves. Look at the leaf work. And look at the work on the cherries and the glass. Come on now. Tell me that you don't think that that is precision right there, and that is a work of art, and that is craftsmanship right there. Oh God. You won't find this kind of glass jewelry nowadays anymore. Or, I'm sorry, crystal jewelry. Okay, so I'm just showing you, and oh, okay, I forgot. The material is, I believe the material is, I'm not sure. I think it could be brass. And obviously, they applied a layer of plating to make the piece look really old and vintage. It gives it like that antique, darkened, like blackened look, right? Beautiful. Oh my God. Can't stress it enough. Okay, so here is, oh gosh, you guys. You ready for a masterpiece? Oh, look at that. Stunning show, statement piece. Okay, I was born the year of the dragon. And I also have Chinese ancestry, even if I'm Filipino. So there's those Chinese letters. And then there are little pieces of jade. I'm not sure if it's jade or if it's like Peking glass. I believe it's just glass. But like back in the day, another thing that jewelry makers used to do for vintage pieces is that they would mimic jade, right? And I believe, as far as I know, that this piece is only gold toned metal plated with rhodium, right? And you know what? I have had this piece for like at least 7 or 8 years and it's still in amazing condition. You see that? Now tell me that is not a work of art. Look at the dragons and the Chinese temple, right? The Chinese letters. And then see like this huge circle with a dragon again. Come on, where are you gonna find pieces like this nowadays? You can't, you won't. Because it's truly vintage. It's an, it's been around, for some time, obviously. There's some fading, there's some wear, and I honestly do not wear this a lot. Because I know that it's gonna be hard for me to find something like this again. And look at the weight of that. That should be about 40 or 50 grams. And it doesn't tarnish. Absolutely stunning. It's a work of art. You see? And you won't find that nowadays. You won't. I don't think I'll come across, or if I do, it's probably going to be super expensive. Nothing at all like what I paid back in 8 years ago. Okay, so here's another estate piece that I found online. Okay, and it is like a chain. Again, an estate item. And you know what? I don't wear it because it's too big for me. I'm gonna have to go, like I said, find somebody who specializes in vintage jewelry because it's way too big. It's almost like 9 inches, I think. You see that? And the middle piece is a dragon right there. Camera doesn't focus. And obviously there are signs of age. There's some wear and tear. But all in all, oh my God. Stunning, right? estate from an estate sale in New York online. Look at the workmanship as well on this piece. Very, very detailed work on the dragon. Huge chain links. You see that? You'll hardly find anything like this nowadays. Never. And you know what, you guys? I may be an old timer. I just turned 47 the other day. But I have such a fine appreciation for like the things that jewelry designers in the past brought to the table. The jewelry that, okay, don't get me wrong, don't misquote me. I think jewelry designers nowadays are amazing as hell, right? They're very modern and their pieces are contemporary, and yeah, I mean, gosh, Cartier, they carry on that legacy from back in the day. But if you compare the old pieces from back in the day, look at that intricate detail, right? Down from the head all the way to the body. Very detailed, very ornate. I love that piece. And you know what? I need to start wearing my pieces more because come on, I paid for them, right? Oh gosh, here's another showstopper. And I came across this again online in a vintage sale. And I think I bought a few items from that seller. Look at that, you guys. Crystal Swarovski heart bracelet. Huge hearts. You see that? And the hearts are quartz. They actually rhyme. The hearts are quartz. No, the hearts are made of quartz. And they sparkle like crazy in the sun, in the sunlight. But you know what? The other day, so I was actually wearing this piece and I dropped it and I saw a little piece of glass or a little piece of crystal break. I don't know from where. I didn't bother. I just saw like the little piece come off of it because obviously it's not a diamond. Only a diamond has a hardness of 10 on the Mohs scale, right? But obviously it's it's a quartz, so it's not gonna have like that power to withstand wear and tear that much, or damage for that matter. It's just stunning, and it has a toggle, so whether you gain or lose, like I said, it's gonna work to your advantage, right? Because you have all these holes to like choose from. Again, I normally wear mine on the tightest spot because I don't like loose bracelets. They feel kind of funny to me. So there you go. Stunning. Excuse me. Okay, so if you're a lover of a vintage jewelry, you know what this is, right? But for those that don't know or who are not into vintage, this is an Aurora Borealis cube bracelet. Look at the crystals and the detail on that and the colors that sparkle with it. All the colors of the rainbow. When I wear it out in the sun, you guys, the flashiness, like the lights are almost blinding. There's like that pearlescent, like almost rainbow-like effect to it. And there's those like little, what do you call them, rondelles? I don't know what you call them, beads of blue right in between. And honestly, okay, and I know some people probably like that blue thing. I don't. If I had a spacer in between, I would probably go with a gold piece or a silver piece. But I think that blue makes the bracelet look kind of cheap. Just my opinion. See, like the blue, green, and that red. I don't know. I just feel like it was unnecessary. But I mean, it's a stunning piece. And nowadays, I think Aurora Borealis is no longer being made as much as it was. And I think Swarovski jewelry is very, very expensive now compared to back in the day. I remember when I was a teenager, well, almost pre-teens, I think. My mom had a bunch of Swarovski bracelets, in the bezel tone, so they were tending to like mimic diamonds, right? And my mom bought me, my own Swarovski bracelets, and we rocked them both together. And, it was just one of those things, like good memories. I mean, my mom is still here, but I'm just saying, when you're growing up, it's like little memories like that that make you really cherish your mother. You know what I mean? That's a stunning piece. So, here is a very special bracelet to me. It's also one of a kind, and I also found it on an estate sale online, right? And the workmanship on this bracelet, you guys, is just tremendous, if I can say. So, this is a horseshoe bracelet with crystals. Very exquisitely done. You see that? And it has that dark patina that I really appreciate, with older piece of jewelry. It just has like that weathered look that I like. And I know people that are into Cartier and VCA, like really shiny, flashy, white gold or, gold jewelry. I'm just like not one for that. I like understatement. I like old. I like, I'm an old timer, you guys. And I know that there are, older people like my age that are also into VCA and Cartier. And that's fine, to each his own, right? But to me, I like estate. I like pieces that have been, through families, that have stories. Heirloom pieces, passed on from grandma to, granddaughter or something like that. Because they carry that, that story with them, that history. And I like that. This is also another piece I don't get to wear as much because I'm just scared to lose it or damage it. Stunning. You know what, you guys? I'm running out of time. I think I'm going to do my last piece now. And we're going to continue on next time because there are like maybe 20 more things here and we barely even scratched the surface. So this is going to be a 3-parter, I think. Oh my goodness, you guys. What the hell? Do you see that detail on this bracelet? Okay, so this piece, here's what I'll say. You're gonna find this piece a lot online, okay? This is the Love Knot bracelet. And this love knot became very popular during the Victorian times, during the Victorian era. They were into belt buckles and horseshoes and love knots and the infinity symbol. They were also into materials like paste. So when I say paste, it's spelled as Paste, but what it means is that was the alternative source that people or like goldsmiths used to make in place of diamond jewelry, right? Because metals and diamonds and all these precious things like platinum and gold were scarce, and they didn't have much to go around, so they improvised, right? So there are companies, for example, like Trifari or Coro or Listener, or what the hell? It just escapes my mind. But there are companies like that they made or they manufacture their own brand of, the own metal that they used. And they patented that metal so that they didn't have to go out and buy, real gold, for example. They use replacements or, you know what I mean? I can't find the words to say. Stand-in pieces. Because they couldn't afford, the hefty price tag, of gold and silver, for example. But you guys, do you see that detail on that on this love knot bracelet? So it's actually, people always say tricolor, but this is not a tricolor. This is a dual. It's only rose and yellow gold, right? And it's also a very heavy piece. It's like 25 grams. And you can see all the markings on the clasp and stuff like that. Camera's not gonna focus, I know. But this is another piece that I don't wear enough because I'm just scared to lose it or damage it. And I know you guys, you know that saying, like when you buy a piece of jewelry, you wear that piece of jewelry. You know, the cost per wear is something you have to consider. Because why even buy one, right? Why spend your money and not and let it sit? Freaking wear that shit. Beautiful. So that is the love knot. So back in the day, people used to wear love knots all the time. Okay, you know what? I said that would be my last piece, but this would actually be my last piece. Let me show you guys. So I was talking about paste jewelry, right? That's paste. Isn't that stunning? Do you see that, you guys? So back in the day, like I said, there was a shortage of diamonds and it was way too expensive for like the ordinary folk. So what people did is they came up and they manufactured paste, PASTE, and that's the material, you guys, that they used to make diamond like jewelry. Sorry, it's not focusing, and but if you look at it close enough, it's almost like diamonds. And you guys remember, okay, and I'm gonna make this clarification. There's a huge difference, okay? So paste is not CZs, it's not cubic zirconia, it's paste. Cubic zirconia is almost glass or like a notch below glass and crystal, if that makes sense. So CZ and paste are two different things. They're not one and the same. So if you'll see paste, sorry, it's not focusing. Almost just has like that diamond like quality to it. You know that depth you see when you look into a diamond? That's what you get when you go for paste. But paste is also more yellow. And paste also comes in different colors. And one popular color that they used to do back in the day, which is a patented shade, well, you don't see it too much nowadays, is cobalt blue. So cobalt blue is almost electric blue. And so there would be cobalt blue paste stones. You know what I mean? They would be so bright they wouldn't even look like a sapphire, because maybe people are, well, maybe they were intended to be a sapphire. No, it's not. It's paste. It's all, how do I, you know what, people refer to it as rhinestones as well, but I honestly think that rhinestones are of a different breed, because paste just like looks like diamonds, and rhinestone just has like that very costumey feel to it. I don't know, I could be wrong. Drop me a comment if you know about paste and rhinestones and stuff like that. But look at the sparkle, like when I wear it out in the sun, it just sparkles like crazy. It's insane. You want diamonds but for a cheaper price tag, go for paste. But see, the thing is, you're gonna have to look for this online, and you're gonna have to find sellers that are willing to part with it for a lesser price. Because I noticed even vintage jewelry people now, or sellers, they freaking abuse the system. There are people that tack on 3 or 4 times the price because they know people are willing to pay the prices. People like vintage. Vintage is like making a comeback. Even, okay, you guys, think about it. Even the 80s now, for an old timer like me, I'm 47. I just turned 47. If I think about it in my head, I can't wrap my head around the fact that the 80s is now vintage. You know what I'm saying? 80s is vintage. When I used to think about the 80s in my head, I would think, oh shit, 100 years old. You know what I mean? I'm just exaggerating, of course. You know what I mean? But the difference between vintage and antique is vintage is more 30 years or more, and antique is 100 years. So there's almost that history, that legacy, right? When you talk about antique. Okay, you guys, before I wrap up, I'm going to share what I'm wearing for right now. So, on this finger, I have a champagne diamond baguette brown diamond champagne ring in rose gold. And okay, this is an imitation. I like CC. You know, see that CC logo? I found that from another estate seller. And it's not diamonds, it's just a cubic zirconia. And it's in sterling silver. But look at the sparkle. And you know what? This is, well, CC logo. You won't find it so easy. You know what I mean? Because I think Amazon, eBay, I don't know, some people get away with it. But I think Chanel and Louis Vuitton and all these places are trying to put a stop to people that are imitating their stuff. So I think eBay has more streamlined, more curated. There are people like looking out for counterfeit. And so when they see counterfeit, they don't pass the test, right? So if you see that, you guys, that is so freaking stunning, isn't it? And you know what? I actually started wearing this only yesterday, and I'm gonna tell you the little backstory about it. So, for the past 3 months, right, I've been going through some shit in my life, right? I'm not gonna go into detail. Maybe I'll tell you more about it in my next video, but I've been looking for this ring for probably a month at least, right? So I go around my room, I go look, I can't find it. And so now I'm really hurt, right? Because I found this, you guys, online. And you know, it's another one of those things that it's a one-off. You know what I mean? You won't find another like it. It's gonna be hard to look. So I looked everywhere, you guys, and I found it yesterday in one of those little pouches where I keep my other jewelry in. And I think that that's what motivated me to really go ahead and clean my stuff out and throw some of the pieces away that I don't use, so that it doesn't happen again, so that I don't, you know, I don't misplace and I don't have to look for something like for months and then be upset about it. You know what I mean? Okay, so here is another thing that I'm wearing. So, drama aside, this is a weave bangle that my ex gave me for my birthday last year. And there's diamonds on the on the end, right? Just tiny little pave diamonds. And then here's a Swarovski crystal tennis bracelet that I have. It also has brownish pinkish diamonds, and it's set in a rose gold tone setting. And I got it for a really good price because I bought from the Swarovski site itself. Look at that color. You know, when I'm out in the sun, it's almost very blinding. You know what I mean? Okay, so here's another one. This is another CC logo bracelet. Vintage. Look at the patina on that, the darkness. See that darkness, that oxidation? And there are marcasites all over it. It's very classic looking, isn't it? So they kind of go together. So I like wearing like that mixed metal sort of look. Okay, so for the last piece, I also got it online, of course, from an estate auction sale, right? And this is a gold filled ball bracelet. And you know what, you guys, this is probably one of those things that, again, when you talk about vintage, when you see something, here's my tip for people that are into vintage. When you see something online that really speaks to you, you buy it right away. Because you look at that. How heavy. That's gold filled. It will never break, it'll never tarnish, it'll never fade. It's forever. Looks just like real gold, right? For a fraction of the price. So you can't go wrong. Look at the clasp. It's almost like the clasps that they use in Thailand. Look at that. It's a stunning, hefty piece. I mean, okay, nowadays, like this ball style is back. It's trending. And again, I'm not meaning to put anyone down or, talk shit about anyone. But like, if you see like the gold ball, gold filled things like they sell, for example, mainstream jewelry makers like Majuri or any, I'm not shading them, okay? Please don't get upset with me, you guys. I'm just using an example. Majuri, Catbird, Monica Vinegar, right? They all have like beaded bracelets like this, but they're so light and they're so expensive. And I know Majuri presents itself as like a affordable sort of demi-fine jewelry brand. But my God, you guys, if you look at their prices, $250, 300 something dollars for the dome ring. Come on, I'm not paying those prices. I'd rather go off brand and find a really good jewelry maker online or someone local to me that I can support. Because I know, like, the corporations like Majuri or any of these other things, they have a huge following, especially in social media. You know what I mean? Why don't we give smaller brands or people that, deserve a chance to be recognized and to, like, make a living for themselves rather than supporting all these huge jewelry brands, if that makes sense. I mean, okay, if you're into Majuri, if you're into Catbird, if you're into Monica Vinegar, go ahead, right? That's, where you spend your money is not my business. I'm just saying, from a consumer's perspective, we should really give each other a chance, to grow in this world, right? So if we can find somebody, that we like the style and we like the design and the jewelry, I think we should purchase from them, don't you think? Look at how heavy that is.